Joining us now, running for the House of Delegates as a Republican, Eddie Whitlock. He's the chairman of the Henrico Republican Party. Eddie ran for the state Senate in 2015. That was the open seat for Walter Stosh. Eventually, Saban Thunavet, part of the Stali clan, won that seat. Eddie running a spirited race. He is now the nominee and the favorite to win a House of Delegates seat for the retiring Jimmy Massey. That's the 72nd District, which includes part of Henrico. And Eddie is with us now. Eddie Whitlock, good to have you with us, man.
Great to be here.
Eddie, when we talked yesterday, and by the way, I'm excited about you winning this race because I think you're going to be a great addition to the House of Delegates and the General Assembly. When we talked yesterday on the phone, you told me that you had personally knocked on 7,000 doors. That's a lot of doors to knock on. How have you done that?
Well, I'm committed out there every single day. This started back in the primary, bought a new pair of walking shoes, and been hitting it ever since, and it's been absolutely wonderful. The reception from the citizens has been outstanding.
You must have lost a lot of weight doing that, right? 7,000.
You mentioned that, John. I was on the scale this morning, and I've lost 29 pounds. It was well needed, and I had started to try to exercise more as the new year came around, and this certainly boosted it up a notch.
I know. I should probably take a page out of the Eddie Whitlock book. I could certainly stand to drop 29 pounds, at least. There's no question about that.
John McGuire is running in the 56th District. He's a former Navy SEAL, and he does Navy SEAL training, does great exercise work. I told John, I said, that's great, but I think door-knocking training, I'll lead a course on that after this. It's a great way to get in shape.
What are people saying when you go into their living rooms and you go into their kitchens or you're on their stoop or in their front yard? What are they saying? Tell me what's on their mind.
In my district, which is a suburban district to the west of the city of Richmond in Henrico County, ropes over 4 of the different magisterial districts, people are concerned about the economy. It's a food on the table, first and foremost issue. You have to have a strong economy, and if you have a strong economy, we can afford to fund education, we can afford to fund transportation, we can afford to fund public safety. But you got to have the finances first, and they're most concerned about that. They've seen that the last Republican governor we had, we were number 2 in the nation for business, and now after a couple of Democratic governors, we're at 38th.
So when you say we're at 38th, I mean, I talked to McAuliffe about this, and Governor McAuliffe, and he was really disputing this whole thing. He said, look, unemployment is the lowest in Virginia it's been since Jimmy Carter was president. We brought all these jobs in. The economy, despite sequestration, the Virginia economy is way ahead in job growth that other states are. And he really says, what does this number 38 mean? It's not translating into anything meaningful. It's a number on a piece of paper that the Chamber of Commerce came up with. Explain what that means.
Well, it's always meant something in the past, so it's amazing when it doesn't work for him. It's not meaning something now. Look, it's the Chamber of Commerce. It's reviewing the status of every state in the nation as to where they rank in regard to attracting business. Thank goodness we're not down at number 50. You take a look at the bottom 4. You've got, I believe, Minnesota and California, New York, New Jersey. Don't want to be down there, but it's the standard we've used for years. So I don't know why it's inconvenient now.
All right, so what are some of the Eddie Whitlock plans? I mean, if you're saying, okay, Virginia is now 38th in business, even though, again, Terry McAuliffe really argues against this number, saying it's just a meaningless thing that somebody made up. But what are some of your plans in order to get us from 38 to, I don't know, 5, 10?
There you go. Yeah. Well, John, let me just say this. I mean, you look at numbers, and that's one thing, but when you look at businesses going to North Carolina instead of Virginia, that's something you can't miss.
Right.
We've done a great job in Henrico County. I'm on the Economic Development Authority Board, where we brought in Facebook recently, and we're doing other great renovations. Those are projects that work. But, we talked a couple of years ago, and I know you're a big fan of the Whitlock test. And what we do is we make sure that we hold down government spending and the growth and size of business. That then lowers the need for taxation, which means that we can reinvest in businesses. They can grow. They can hire new workers who then can support their families, who buy goods and services, and the economy grows. So the first thing we want to do is take a look at the budget and making sure that we're only spending on core functions of government. And after we determine that they're core functions of government. We then make sure that we're only spending on those things that government can do better than private industry. And then third, we make sure that the spending is at the lowest level needed to get the job done with all waste and redundancy removed.
All right. Tell me about your district in Henrico. I mean, basically it's a Republican district, right? Massey's
Well, it's a 4-point Republican-leaning district. So,
right.
and Hillary Clinton actually won that district by 6 points. By 5 points. 6 points voted for someone other than Trump or Hillary. But if you go back and look at it, traditionally it's been a Republican district, but I take nothing for granted.
Right. All right, so you're pretty confident of victory, Eddie, right?
I feel very good. Yes, I do. I mean, we've done polling, and without mentioning numbers, it's been good. But what works for me that my opponent does not have? He moved to Henrico 3 years ago. I've lived my entire life there.
Right.
I was an Army National Guard veteran. People know me from that. People know me from
right.
16 years of volunteering on school boards and being a PTA president. I coached 50 youth sports teams, involved in a large church with 2 building campaigns, was involved in Cub Scouts, President Henrico Bar, and the party. I know a lot of people, and a lot of people, even cross-party, support me. John, one of the things that I am most proud of is 38 years ago, the delegate from this district was Democrat Bill Axel, who is widely respected by everyone and loved by everyone. He took his time to mentor me, and this was his district. He is supporting me and endorsing me in my effort to win this race. I've got good cross-party support, too, from people who know me and know that I get things done.
All right. Sounds like you've knocked down a lot of doors. George from Newport News says, John, let's go door knocking. I need to lose some weight. So that's might be the secret. Maybe that's what we all should do in our situation. Of course, I can't speak for anybody but me, but if I lost 29 pounds, I think everybody would be happy in my family. No question about that. Eddie, thanks for being with us. Eddie, if people want more information, where do they go?
John, always a pleasure. Thank you very much. My website is www.whitlockfordelegate.com. That's an F-O-R, not a number 4.
All right, whitlockfordelegate.com. Eddie Whitlock running for the seat of the retiring Jimmy Massey. That's the 72nd District in Virginia, part of Henrico. Eddie, thanks for being with us, man.
Thanks a million. Have a great day, John.